Hi everyone, my name is Samir Ekhan and I am once again with all of you with one of the gentlemen here. This gentleman is joining me from Nigeria. He is by profession construction manager and he has been working in various industries like telecommunication, pharmaceuticals, and right now he is working in the construction company. He has also grabbed so many certifications like CSM and certified Six Sigma Master Black Belt. Also, he has done PMP certification a week back. Today, I got opportunity to interact with this person. I will be going through his overall PMP journey. I will be trying to dive deep how he has started, what all challenges he has faced, how he has overcome, and about exam insights. So let's welcome Mr. Patrick on the screen. Mr. Patrick, you're welcome
Yes, Sam.
once again.
Thank you
And
very
the
much.
very first thing I want to say is congratulations for your wonderful achievement of PMP certification.
Thank, thank you, Mr. Sami. Thank you for the privilege. Thank you for the opportunity. And I also say congratulations to the future aspirants for the PMP as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Patrick, as you have been informed me that you have CSM, also you have certified Six Sigma. So the very first thing I wanted to know, what is inspired you or motivated you to do PMP certification as well?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sami. One of the key things in my country here, uh, there is a very huge demand for project manager to be PMP certified. And that gives quite a number of persons who, within the industry practice, a little hedge. So I felt the challenge, and having one of my colleague, a lady who was recently PMP certified, and she prompted me that if I'm interested, I should join the PMP Mastery class. So I was like, Indian, okay, who is he? He said, he's Sami. And immediately she connected me to a WhatsApp group. And that's
Okay.
the start of the journey.
Okay.
So thank you.
So can I know why you
Exactly.
got shocked?
What really surprised me is how exciting and how she talked about the PMP mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, really? I personally don't think maybe Indians will have that patience to mentor people. So, but when she gave me 100% assurance, and I was like very skeptical, but I trusted her and I took a chance. Let me put it that way. At the start, I took a chance.
So,
So I I practiced in my first work was in an aluminium manufacturing firm. So I worked with a lot of Indians. So
mm,
they were time bound. They were I worked as a design engineer. Then I moved to production units where I became production supervisor. So everything is time bound, even to teacup time, production report time. So I didn't see them like people who have time for, you know, people like us who like to talk so much, drag you left and right. So I was very skeptical. But then the journey was different from what I perceived. Thank you.
all right. So, by the way, I think I have already told you that I have spent my 3 years in Nigeria. Okay.
Yes.
One more thing I want to reveal. After India, the second largest people in my program is from Nigeria. So my second
Wow.
home is Nigeria. By the
That's great.
way. Okay.
That's great.
Yeah. Moving ahead. Right now you are working in construction. So before taking the initiative of PMP, how did you analyze that PMP will add value to your industries?
Well, before the PMP journey, I was not totally impressed with. the people who had the certification. But I think I would say it has to do a lot with who trained them and who mentored them and who provided the right training materials and the right guidance. So, but for me, I can tell that the application of PMP is enormous because through my journey to acquire this certification, I got so detailed into a lot of PMP documentations, project management plan requirements. I think on the top of my head, I still have quite a number of documents I could mention,
Hmm.
like the 33 documents, project documents, right from activity lists, activity attributes, change log, issue log, milestone. I saw the relevance of all these documentation in projects construction management. And I cannot overemphasize their connections, their importance
Hmm.
to application of applying this knowledge into the real practice world. So it's really exhaustive with what PMP has really put in place as a standard and guideline for people to utilize while practicing. And coming down to the project management plan, uh, it's 24 process, and these process are interdependent and they work interrelated, and it's all wholesome. I can tell that PMP application has really also advanced my level of thinking. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very analytical when I'm putting up projects or deliverables. But one key struck part is, of course, traditional projects, the major focus is cost, managing cost.
Hmm.
So for us to manage cost, if you don't understand the baseline and how much you can measure your progress, getting your XPI when it's equal to one, let's say you're on schedule, or your CPI, having to do your forecast. There are formulas definitely, but it's very dynamic. You can adjust based on the triple constraint
Hmm.
that are kind of influencing your performance on the project. So it's so much. I was privileged also to be at one project site. It was easy for me to identify a lot of flaws that were going on the project site. If you are working on delivering value incrementally to the clients, PMP has also introduced the kind of, a body of knowledge, the Kanban. So I was like on a straight board, I can see the activities that are progressing, clients are coming, complaining. And it was easy for me to educate the site manager to really go into adopting PMP body of knowledge to work out his project. And it's easy to quickly notice some knowledge gap among other project engineers, young engineers, or people you interface with. So also it really got my awareness to understand that these three elements that constitute you, the business aspect of you, the technical know-how, and I won't tell you that the CSM certified Scrum Master I obtained was in between my preparation for the PMP.
Yeah.
And it was awesome for me because PMP preparation really prompted that awareness to understand agile framework. And since your mentorship under the seventh edition gave us an overview of what that edition was all about, like an umbrella to take all these practices into one unit. So when of the seventh edition, I took out CSM, and of course, it became easier because I was already under the PMP training. So I did the CSM before I wrote the exam for the PMP. And when the result came, 100%, I didn't miss a score because I felt PMP was more, though I disobeyed you to have gone for the exam,
It's
but
okay.
then it was more interesting for
Hmm.
me. So I can
Okay.
tell PMP body of knowledge is very applicable to industrial practice. Thank
Good.
you.
Good. So really you give a lots of insights how PMP is useful in your current industry construction. Earlier you were managing the
Yes,
project, but being a PMP certified, the things has been changed. Now you are doing the
yes,
same thing but differently, with more confidence,
yes,
with more awareness,
yes,
and knowingly.
yes,
Whatever you are doing,
yes,
doing knowingly, not anymore unknowingly. Not
exactly.
trying, not taking chances, but doing intentionally and getting result. So effectiveness of PMP you have explained here. That is really, really great answer and insights. So people who is watching this video, and if they are belongs to construction, they should be knowing PMP is going to add value in their knowledge. And of course, there are so many other benefits all in addition to knowledge. It will increase the confidence.
Yes,
You can get hike, you can get promotion, you will be more confident, you
yes,
will be effective manager, you can do effectively any kind of project, whether it is a small or large project in any industries. So there are lots of benefits. Thank you so much, Patrick, to giving these insights. So now going forward, I want you to tell about your PMP preparation. In between, you dump PMP preparation and you gone for CSM. That was fine that
yes.
you clear the CSM as well. So let me give you one more time congratulations for CSM as well.
Thank you.
So this is the person you see taking challenges. He was doing PMP and at the same time he has started CSM and he got CSM certified. And of course, these certifications are linked. CSM contents,
Yes,
if you know very well, 25% of preparation for your PMP is done.
yes,
25%, I can say 25 to 30%. So of course
yes,
that certification was not isolated, it was linked to PMP and it was added value to his PMP preparation. So that's fine. Now moving ahead, and I want you to tell something about your preparation. I
yes,
have provided you roadmap, a study plan, all the resources
yes.
which I provide to everyone. Okay. So,
Okay,
what
thank you,
was your
Sammy.
strategy and how did you manage time out of your office, your personal life to execute the study plan which was provided to you?
Yes, thank you, Sammy. Um, yes, after I got the study plan,
Hmm.
I made sure I followed every line on the study plan. At first, I began to see myself under pressure because work time and having to catch up with the study time was becoming challenging. So I dedicated each time I arrived from office, 6 p.m., I have some little rest with family. And once it's 8 p.m., I go back to my studies. And from 11 a.m., I take 3 hours every day to do
Okay.
the studies. And by the time I wake up, 4 a.m., I take another 2 hours for my studies. So I was following each line based on the roadmap to make sure I complete my studies. And the materials was equally a quick guide, the slide materials. Mostly after each class, those materials were very helpful to give me a quick understanding of what was discussed during the class. So I made sure I follow suit all the plan
Hmm.
to make sure my reading was completed. I wasn't missing any line of my studies. And the moment I knew It was good. I made sure my participation at the daily mock section was effective. If I wasn't answering, I was making sure I was following the question and the answers, the explanation given at each answers. So that really contributed so much. But the challenge on the timing was a very huge one. And at a point, I have to take some weeks off from the office. And that week off I took was the most uh, important part of my preparation. So those weeks off I took gave me a very good preparation for the PMP. So, and at that point, I felt I was much ready after having a 15 days uh, preparation for the on my studies, dot all the cross all the T's and dot all the I
Hmm.
across every section. But the most challenging part was studying the P-box cysts. And at that point, I record at that point, I record calling up Sammy requesting for a better way to understand P-box cysts.
Hmm.
And I remember one of the key things Sammy told me was you don't need to cram the ITTOs. You need to know four basic things. What is the main purpose of this ITTO? I mean, what is the outcome? When you know the outcome of what this ITTO, he even took an instance of the uh, initiation uh, knowledge to say develop project charter. Of course, you should know if you had to develop a project charter, what should you have at the end? It's a charter. Now, what do you need to help you? What are the tools and techniques? You can't just come up with a charter without a meeting, without interview with certain key persons. So when I had that scenario,
Hmm.
it was much easier to navigate the high TTO because I find it very worrisome and disturbing. And then when we move to the procurement, the pattern Sammy gave was also quite interesting. So it was easy to visualize. And since I have, I was working on the same process. So I could visualize the process and not having to cram the high TTOs.
Mhm.
So, but most importantly, the 49 process was just at the back of my hand because I pasted, I printed out all the materials, the 49 process, the 33 documents, the then also I had a flashcard. So I painted it all around my wall. So each time I wake up that fall, I don't just jump into reading. I just stand while exercise, jumping around the room. I look at the 49 process. I look at the project document and try to understand their meaning. And they were very key to flowing through the P-Box cyst edition while studying for that. And when Sammy called our attention to the study on P-Box 7, so I dedicated much energy into doing that. And it was much easier because I already have a very good understanding from the sixth edition. So I saw it like a summary a summary of what Table 6 was all about, and then focused on Oscar model, focused on ADCA model, and the phases of change people go through while managing changes. So it was all very interesting, But most of the key challenge I've just mentioned was my study on the P box cyst. And after I got that full explanation from Sammy, and I went to the materials, and it was much easier for me later on. Thank you.
All right. So you have explained that after your office, on an average 3 hours you were spending for following the study plan to complete the task given to you. And of course, we all can have challenges for managing time because all PMP aspirants have, family, personal life, and professional life because PMP is not for student, it is made for working professional. So whoever want to do it, they should be ready to take these challenges. So time management is one of the most important factor when you are looking for PMP certification. You have to have a skills how to manage your time because nowadays we almost spend 12 hours including our travel time for our work.
Yes.
After 12 hours we have family, and on top of that, PMP is one of our goal. If we are making, then we have to plan how we have to complete it in shortest possible time. Also, we need to make sure that we should be completing it in shortest possible time. If you unnecessarily expand time period for PMP preparation, in between you can be distracted because of any challenges may come from your work, may come from your family, and you can be derailed. You can be derailed from your preparation. So I always advise, if you want to do PMP, target 40 days, 45 days, 50 days, 60 days maximum. Don't expend unnecessary 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, and 6 month. You'll never complete PMP if you are targeting 6 month or 3 months in just beginning. First, in the beginning, you have to target 40, 45 days or 50 days and start your preparation. Plus minus 1 week or 10 days you can keep in your hand. So this is the plan you guys need to have if you're really serious to do your PMP certification. So this is one of the piece of advice while discussing with the Patrick, that you can manage 3 to 4 hours time for your PMP preparation, but you should be having a framework. What you have to read, what you have to note, right? When you are starting, when you are ending. Unless you have a framework, you will keep reading 3 hours every day and it may keep going for 1 year and you never feel ready for PMP preparation. So don't be in that situation. Okay, Patrick. So moving ahead,
Yes.
when did you
Yes.
feel that now you are ready for PMP exam and you can crack it? Because it is really expensive exam. We spend good amount of time, a month, 2 month, 3 month in preparation. A
Yes.
good amount we invest in taking training and other simulator and quizzes we buy, and also we pay exam fees somewhere 500 USD. So overall no one want to lose it. When did you feel that you are not going to lose this all, you are going to pass PMP exam and it's right time to book the exam and go for the exam?
Okay. Thank you, Sammy. Um, I want to first, I will appreciate PMP and PMP Simulator because at the end, they give me the right assurance to go ahead because my average score, I'll go last with my average score with PMP Mastery.
Hmm.
I did PMP simulator with TIA. I also did with PMP Bray. I did with, I think, four different training bodies.
Hmm.
And my average score
Hmm.
was 85%. But when I felt I was very ready, I said to myself that was good. But when I took PMP Mastery, I had 71%.
So
I
lowest
was
score in
happy.
PMP master simulator.
Yes, the lowest of all the simulator I did. And at that point, I I was still happy because I had ample of questions that were a bit difficult. I scored, but I needed to speak with Sammy, and I shared my log, and we had a section,
Hmm.
and after which he told me I was good to go. So I booked and I write the exam. There was nothing more. But the lowest score did not discourage me because he had told us from the start that the major thing is to be mentally ready. Because for me, I got to question 135. I was tired, and he had already won this kind of experience
Hmm.
would set him because I was shading to catch up with time, and that was where I realized a lot of my mistakes in managing time to answer those questions. So, but it was a different story in the real exam
Hmm.
because
Okay.
you rather fail first
Hmm.
in the simulator. If I'd considered 71% as being failed, I rather failed at 71 than not to get it right in the exam. But Sammy told me, Patrick, 71%, you go ahead and write the exam. So the results speaks it all. Thank you.
So I still remember you reached to me with your scores in different simulator, and also you told me that somewhere this what you said 70 or 71% you got in PMP Mastery Simulator. So my answer to your question was that 71% even is passing score. You don't run after 80% or 90% or 100%. You need to consider here passing a score. So even 71% is your, you can crack your PMP exam since you have scored 80, 85, 90 up to 90 in different sources, and one of the simulator where your lowest score was 71, and above 70 is always better and it is safe side to consider you are ready. But of course there is a disclaimer, this 70%, if you are getting in only one simulator, that is not going to give you any age. He has done, I think, more than 10 simulator. So in his perspective, my answer to him was, you are ready and you can crack your PMP exam. Then he went ahead and he booked his exam, and today you all guys see he is sitting with me, and with a smile on his face he's talking with me.
Yeah.
Now let's move on and talk about something, your exam experience. Like when you gone for exam, obviously you have
Yes.
prepared something one day before, or you have been ready with some strategy to follow during PMP exam. So would you like to share something?
Yes. I think uh, two the weekend
Hmm,
before my exam,
hmm,
PMP Mastery shared a video YouTube link
hmm,
uh, on the tips and vis-a-vis how strategic you have to be
hmm,
during the exam. So
hmm,
I've watched the video,
hmm,
I've read from the materials,
hmm.
and I was very, uh, very ready to follow the strategy. And that was just all I did. And I followed suit, and that was, I was, each domain, I was 20 minutes ahead. When I mean 20 minutes ahead, I finished the 60 question. I had 20 minutes to go back
Wow.
and read through. So, because the video was just all I need to do and followed strictly to the instruction.
So would you like to share any strategy?
Okay, yes, what I did like during the exam,
Hmm.
I took from the moment I click on start, I went on. There are very volume questions.
Hmm.
So the strategy is to go to the main header where the question is. And so, but when I see such questions, I read the answers first. Once I read the answers, already from the answer, I know one or two is totally out of uh, the contents it's likely to be. Like if I can remember one of the question on the Agile section.
Hmm.
Yes, the moment I saw the artifacts, I definitely would not expect to see products backlog as an artifact in Agile practice. So when I saw sprint review meeting, I saw the other artifacts, I knew definitely product backlog was not an answer. So I
Hmm.
didn't bother read the whole question. I
Hmm.
just knew the answer straight away.
Hmm.
So um, so each time I read the question, I go straight to I read the answers, I mean, then I go to the questions. One reading, I take my answer, move. I don't skip any question. I tick it, I read the question, read the answer, or read the answer, read the question, I take my answer. If I'm not too sure, I bookmark that. And it was just like I was doing, I don't know. I would say one good thing is the PMP simulator is the best window interface
Hmm.
in all the simulators I've done. When I tell you the best window interface, it was just like that of the PMP. So you bookmark, you can come back for review. So I don't leave any answer untouched. I answered the whole 60. So already I can easily review the whole question. And from there, I stroll down, I can count. Okay, I have 8 undone question. So I quickly do the 8. And after which I still have 10 minutes.
Hmm.
Then I just stroll down. I just keep strolling. And that was it. So the best strategy was we have a pen and a book. So the moment it starts, I wrote the minutes. My expectation is to finish the 60 question before this minute. So as I finished the first 60, I checked. I was still within the timeline. So that was how I discovered I had 20 minutes in the first 60 question. So what I did was I thought I would be at advantage when I finish, but the timer still continued the same way I
Hmm.
did most of the simulator when I came back. So, but one good thing I think I did was during that break, I went out and used water to refresh my face. I think there are certain pressure that comes when you see some people going out for break much earlier than you did. So I think that kind of puts me under pressure. And I started feeling, was I too slow? But when I got back to my seat, I remember I wrote down my minutes. So I'm still on point. Maybe they had other strategy. So that was a distraction. But after washing up my face and taking water, and I bought food, but I didn't eat. The water was okay for me. And I did a little walk around within that 10 minutes. I think I came back 2 minutes before the 10-minute break was over, and I went straight up again. So, but this time the question was a bit different.
Let me summarize
Yes.
so far what you have said. One of the best thing I want to take out of your conversation is here for the people. is once you start your exam, like one of the strategy he Patrick is followed and it was effective and he's cleared PMP. Somehow it helped him, and that's the reason he is sharing. Okay, so one of the strategy he has followed, he read the question, then he read all given options. Then he come back to question again. He read question and try to connect with the options. And this time he selected one of the best answer. But before selecting best answer, he also use elimination method. First, which is not relevant. Let's cross it. A, B, C, most probably which might be best answer. So he was not jumping to the right answer. Instead, he was eliminating the wrong options, inappropriate options. And
Yes.
finally, he was left with one or he was left with two. Out of that, he was choosing one of the best answer. So this is the first, like he applied the elimination. Also, he applied reading question, reading option, then going back and reading again question means twice reading and then selecting the answer. So this was the strategy he has used and it was effective. It was work for him. Secondly, he also mentioned how he has managed time. So somewhere 60 questions he was solving and still he was completing 60 questions before 20 minutes as he said. So here I can say he was really managed his time effectively and very smartly. As a summary from his conversation was two things: time management, elimination method he used and it was work for him. He also somehow indicated the importance of taking break. You should taking the break because there are 2 10 minutes break which is exclude from your total time. Moving ahead, now I want you to tell us like what was the ratio of questions, agile, hybrid, and traditional. Most of the people when I interact tell 70 to 80% question is hybrid and rest 20% is traditional. So is it the same case for you or different case for you?
Okay. For me, my question was 80% agile, 80% agile.
Hmm.
When I mean hard, yes, 80%. Traditional was 20. The agile was more with hybrid, 10% hybrid, but 20% traditional.
Hmm.
So, and I was very surprised because that's why I said I felt it was a discussion you already told us at the start of the program that 50% agile was going to be and scenario based. So most of the agile were scenario based and they were just 80% inclusive hybrid and 20% traditional. So at that point, I felt, oh God, I spent so much trying to do traditional,
Hmm. Okay.
reading up on traditional. That's why I was always busy calling you on the P-Box edition. But then it was more of 80% agile and 20 traditional. Thank you.
Okay. So here I want to sum up like those who is doing PMP preparation guys, your focus more on hybrid type of questions. Practice more hybrid type of questions. Hybrid means the question will be combination with traditional and agile and 20 to 25% traditional question you can get. So focus or put in your efforts in practicing hybrid questions because as Patrick said 80 and 20 ratio. He is recently did PMP and we have to believe in him. And he's not only one person giving this statement. Before what he said, I told him that what I heard from most of the people that there are 70 to 80% questions based on hybrid and rest based on traditional. Same statement he also repeated. Same case was with him as well. So what we got to know from his conversation is ratio is 80 and 20. We have to focus more on solving hybrid questions. And quick answer also I want you to give us is, five types of questions in this new pattern: fill in the blanks, multi response answers, multi choice questions, hotspot type questions, drag and drop. So just let us know, like, number of
On
each type of questions you got.
NBT High,
Hmm.
there were two questions. Drag and drop is basically the artifacts,
Hmm.
project artifacts, and the agile artifacts as well. Those were two that came from them. Then you also have conflict management. Yes, those are drag and drop as well. Then okay, yeah, that's the
What
drag
about,
and drop.
yeah, what was number of drag and drop questions?
So if I combine all, that's about there were no more than 10,
What about a
not more
hotspot
than
type
10.
question? Did you get any hotspot type questions?
Now the hotspots, I didn't see any hotspots.
Any fill in the blanks?
No.
Okay. Multi
Uh,
response, how many questions you got?
yes, that's what I said. Total 10. Drag and drop,
Okay.
uh,
Combining drag and drop and multi response was
combining
only 10.
10. 10.
Okay. So people
Yes.
should be not to worry about this drag and drop and multi responses. It is only 10 if you are considering, or even if you are considering 15, or even if you are considering 20, including drag and drop, multi responses, fill in the blank, hotspot. So it is carrying somewhere less than 8%.
So the fill in the blank is the one with type.
Hmm.
Yeah, only one. I got one type question.
Okay.
Yes, one.
Okay.
So one.
So to sum up this conversation is, I will tell people that out of total 10% of questions should be based on drag and drop, multi response, fill in the blanks, hotspots.
Yeah.
This will be 10% all. Remaining
Yes.
90% will be multi choice questions. Questions with four options, and you need to select one of the right answer. So that kind of questions you'll be getting 90%. So focus on solving those type of questions more. Anything you want to tell people to avoid, which you have gone through
Yeah.
and you realize later that you could have been avoided?
Yes. One of the key things I would have avoided was to trust your mentor
Hmm.
early.
Mm-hmm.
When you trust your mentor and listen and also stick to, don't be too distracted with too many materials.
Hmm.
If you have you are registered with, you need to trust and believe. I will recommend PMP Mastery because the guidance and the patience you need to exercise when you are under mentorship is very important. If you act hurriedly or out of your courses, you will definitely make mistakes. If you don't trust the material, then why are you registered? You registered, you want to get value for the money you paid. So this is tested and assured that if you're paying for the value, you will get the value. So you play your own role by just being patient, trust, and be adaptable to the style of what he is bringing to you. And of course, this is one of the core values you have to exhibit as a PM. So that's one key thing that is important. Then the time management, you will definitely lose friends. You will lose some things you were used to. You just have to have a change of lifestyle. Even your food, because I'm a stress eater. When I say stress eater, I'm not under stress physically looking at me, but I consume a lot of food. At a point, it was adding a lot of excess weight to me because sitting down under 10 different simulator is like spending minimum for me was 6 hours. And that was of a lot of trouble with my weight. But then I think the most important thing is you have the drive, you trust your mentor, or you are under a guidance. It will really help you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Patrick. What I got to know from your last conversation is here. Let me tell people that what he actually highlighted here. First, you should have a mentor. Whatever you are doing, we are talking here in perspective of PMP. A mentor is someone who has been already gone through the same path. So really and definitely he will add value to your PMP preparation. You will be doing unknowingly so many things that is really not needed to do for your PMP preparation if you're doing self preparation. But if anyone who is doing preparation under any mentor, a mentor will shorten their learning curve and also highlight their weaker area, their strength, and they can work together on that. So definitely he wanted to tell that you should be having a mentor when you are into your PMP journey. Second point, what he said, don't collect thousands of materials, don't do lots of reading. This is PMP certifications and there is a syllabus and there is a limited efforts we required. It is not something that we should put in lots of efforts for a year and reading 10 books and doing 10,000 of questions. It is not required. All you need is you need right direction and right strategy. So what he has highlighted here that go with the right direction, go with the right strategy, and don't exhaust yourself into lots of reading materials, lots of practicing the questions. Also, the last and very important is drive. Why you should be doing PMP? What is driving you? So drive should be from within you. If this comes from within you that I have to do this PMP because I want to go there, I do not want to stay here in the same position where I am since last 5 years. I want to go on this position. I want to work in this company, and this is what my goal. And I want to enhance my knowledge. So this is the drive. This is intrinsic drive that's come from within, and that not required any external motivation if comes from here. So it should be comes from here and then choose a mentor, start your preparation. Nothing will hold you to grab your PMP like Patrick. He is still carrying a smile on his face. So choose the right direction and make your goal. If you need any support, I am here with one of the most popular and effective program that is known PMP Mastery. Patrick already so many times repeated PMP Mastery, so you guys as of now got to know what is PMP Mastery. It is one of the most effective, most popular program that gives you end-to-end support until you pass your PMP exam. So you can be part of PMP Mastery program and you can crack your PMP exam also like Patrick in next 45 days. So that's all we had in this conversation, guys. If you really liked this conversation, if you really got some value out of this conversation, hit the like button. And even if you have any queries, you can write in the comment box. I personally will read your comment. I will personally reply your comment. And Patrick is in my WhatsApp group. If you are in my community, you can also reach directly to Patrick for any guidance. He will be very happy to help you. Thank you so much, Patrick, once again for joining me and giving your really precious time. I want to give you thanks once again and congratulations once
Thank
again
you.
for your PMP certifications and for your CSM as well. Very soon, I want to see you ACP certified as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sami. I'm very grateful. Thank you for the time and the opportunity.